episode of the Peace series on the Royal Scholars Talk Show. When we talk about Nigeria's wealth, what comes to mind first? For most of us, it's all rigs, pipelines, decades of national identity built around what we pull out of the ground.
Here's a question worth sitting with for a moment. Is oil the biggest story?
What if the real engine of this economy is not in what we drill, but what we grow?
Because right now, agriculture accounts for roughly a quarter of everything this country produces, not just oil, soil.
It's not just a number on a page, it is the livelihood of more than half of every working Nigerian. Farmers, yes, but also traders, processors, market women, and drivers too.
We're sitting on tens of millions of hectares of farmable lands, more than any country combined, but yet it remains the most underestimated industry in the continent.
So today, on this episode of Peace series, we're not just talking about farming or agriculture.
We are talking about one of the biggest, most overlooked career opportunities available to the next generation of young Nigerians.
I am your wonderful host for today, Ms. Amina Ilyasugayam.
And I am your co-host for today, Khalid Lawal.
And to help us unpack properly, we've brought in three people who live in this faculty of agriculture every day. Please join me in welcoming our three wonderful guests. Dr. J.K. Yusuf, thank you so much for joining us. Mr. Enjuma, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
And Mr. Umar Hassan, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Dr. J.K. Yusuf, we'd love to know about you and your agricultural career.
Yeah, like you just rightly asked, I am Dr. Yusuf J. K. I am a graduate of Federal University of Technology, Mina,
Yes.
where I had my first degree. My second degree also was in University of Agriculture, Makadi, and my PhD in Nasarawa State University, Kefi, all where I studied fisheries and aquaculture. I am a senior lecturer with the Federal University of Lafayette presently, and the head of the Department Fisheries and Aquaculture Department of that university.
Thank you so much for honoring our invitation, Dr. J.K. Yusuf.
It's my pleasure.
Mr. Enjuma Magani, what do you have to tell us about yourself and agriculture?
I am Magani Danjuma by name. I had my first degree in Agricultural Economics and Extension, Master's degree in Agricultural Extension and Communication, all from Nasarawa State University, Kefi.
Okay.
I'm a lecturer with the Department of Agricultural Extension and Management, College of Agriculture, Science and Technology. I have the background of agriculture from an undergraduate level where I was able to attend CWA's 6-month training, which I did in a reputable organization that had, as an integrated founder, produced more than 100 crates of eggs in a day.
Okay.
They have also other aspects like crop production. From there, I was channeling managing their marketing aspect during agricultural show who will have opportunity to sell the farms into the world, not just within the Nigeria, because there were embassies who were present there.
Okay.
And our major marketers or our targeted clients were Transcorp then. After then, I joined the College of Agriculture, Science and Tech, where I teach courses that involve or include practical practices in agriculture.
Yes.
And most of these courses, we run agribusiness too. Agribusiness is the latest department that brand all the product of agriculture,
Yes, sir.
from productions to the last point to the end users. And agriculture, in my own experience, is a wonderful profession, not just a wonderful profession, but a unique profession that gives you an opportunity to be reliable, to be competent, to be self-reliant, and be able to sustain what you do without crying on the road, blaming government every day. You should be able to do what? To do something for yourself. And it is in fact the center of white-collar job today, if I want to remind you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for honoring our invitation.
You're welcome.
Mr. Umar Hassan,
Okay.
what's your take on agriculture?
Okay. Let me tell you about myself first.
Yes.
I'm
Yes,
Umar
please.
Hassan. I started work in 1982 as a project officer
Yes.
under National Agricultural Accelerated Food Production Program. After that, I became a divisional agri officer in Jos, and I went to DIFRI as coordinator of DIFRI.
Okay.
After the state creation, I came to this state and started working as a credit officer, as assistant director of credit in the state ministry. I rose to the position of director of agriculture. Then later on, the late Ali Akoya appointed me as the program manager of the Koshi Agricultural Program. I was the first program manager. Then when the program was scrapped, went back to planning and became director of planning. I worked in farms in Wase and here also. Then finally, after retiring, I'm currently engaged as one of the technical officers in the farm that is Jango Agwatashi. That's why I work now currently.
Thank you so much, Mr. Omar Hassan.
So,
Over to you, Mr. Khalid.
let's get into the topic of discussion. Over to you, Mr. Dr. JK. If you were to turn back the hands of time to be a 17-year-old girl in SS3, knowing everything you know now, what agricultural course would you choose and why?
I'll still choose fisheries and aquaculture.
Okay.
I chose it, first of all, by my own conviction, not by anybody's pushing me into studying it. At the time I chose fisheries, my school offered remedial courses. So I went into remedial. Then JAM had not been introduced. So I went into remedials and they will give you a form to fill after your 1 year remedial program to now choose courses you want to study. So you have the liberty to choose courses you want to go into. My school was a University of Technology, so we had array of courses that I could choose from. And one hand you get your admission, but I chose fisheries and aquaculture.
Okay.
Now, I was introduced to fisheries and aquaculture in my SS3. I think that was the last topic that was treated in agriculture at the time. And I just fell in love with the course. The concept that was explained here was territoriality, about how fish reproduce and how the male guard their female. And as a social animal, the instinct just came up. I was like, why go into study law? Why go into study whatever it is I want to study? I'll go for this course if I ever get into the university. So when I had the opportunity to choose a course, my first choice, second and third choices was fisheries and aquaculture. So if I have to change the hands of the clock, I'll still go with fisheries and aquaculture. Why would I still choose it? Now, with agriculture, you have this wider array of selection.
Okay.
You can be self-employed with any course you choose in agriculture. So you can be self-employed, you can be your own boss. So I always wanted to be my own boss.
Okay.
But unfortunately, again, I found myself in the academics and I have to be teaching, but it didn't stop me. But the last point will be that when I retire, what will I be doing? Like Madam Hassan here just said, now he's retired and he's still actively engaged. So that course that you would want to do, that at the end of the day, you could still be actively engaged and you not become a vegetable immediately you retire, then you go for that one. That is agriculture. And fisheries for me, it gives me that peace in my heart that I will say, okay, this is a course I will choose anytime, any day.
Thank you
Thank you
so
so
much.
Over to you, Mr. Njuman. The question goes to say for you, if you were to turn back the hands of time, would you choose agriculture or you're changing another course?
Well, thank you for the questions. If I am to return back to 16, 17, let me maintain jam guideline 18 years.
Okay.
To return back to 100 level today, I will still choose agriculture. I will not just choose agriculture, I will choose it with joy. Actually, I did remedial studies and we are the last remediant without jam. My admissions was the moment you can be able to get your 50% average, you don't need to write jam. If you're sure, don't waste your money. Like me in particular, I was sure I didn't waste my money. So I just did the remedial. I couldn't even register the jam because I was sure 50% cannot be the issue. Quite unfortunate, my first choice and second choice and even third choice, and there were three choices. I indicated interest in microbiology. But along the way, during my remedial studies and when I did a lot of biological science courses, when you study a B Agri, to be specific, that is B Agri comprises, that is animal science, agronomy, agricultural economics and extension. These are B
Okay.
Agri. You do the same courses to 400 level. It is only 500 level that everyone goes to discipline. At that point, I realized that what I cover and what I know and what I'm practicing today is God that saved me. If I study microbiology, I know God loves me so much, not that He loves people. Otherwise, I am wondering how it will have been. And I want to assure you that if you study agriculture and you're good, if you're good, I am assuring you without a doubt, you are not supposed to. In fact, sorry to say this, even if someone says he wants to employ you, that you should go, he will be paying you 40,000, 50,000. To you, you will discover that he wants to kill your career. Let me even tell you as I teach today, I have the opportunity as an agricultural economist,
Okay.
I have the opportunity to partake in agribusiness activities or even the marketing aspect. Sometimes quietly, I go to Doma market, sometimes buy the grains in rural area, keep it for 2-3 months, and your money will duplicate without even doing contribution that you go and be fighting with somebody. Agriculture is super. I will choose it without a doubt, but with a joy. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Mr. Omar Hassan.
Yeah. The same question?
No, a
Okay.
different one.
Okay.
A student scored 230 in JAM,
Yeah.
loves biology,
Yeah.
hates mathematics,
Yeah.
and wants financial stability. What agricultural path would you recommend to that person?
In the first place, he has no business hating mathematics. That's number one.
Okay.
He cannot go anywhere in agriculture without mathematics, anywhere. So he needs the math. But as an agronomist, I would propose agronomy
Okay.
for him because that's the area I came through. As I told you, right from primary schools, we had gardens.
Yeah,
You
sure.
can see today. Secondary school, there were gardens. So that agriculture was inculcated in us right from the beginning. So I would suggest to him
Study
agronomy.
agronomy.
Agronomy. That's it.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Dr. JK, as a parent, would you allow your child to study agriculture and why?
In this time and age, it is no longer the time that you force children into studying courses. It should be by their personal conviction. One, I was not forced, so I'll go by personal conviction. But if my child is lost in the choice of a career,
Career.
I will gladly guide them towards the path of agriculture, or else I'll allow them go by their choices and support them in their choosing career. Except again, besides being lost, if the course they are choosing would not help them to achieving a self-reliant path, then I will have to come in as a parent to guide them properly. That's thank you.
The characteristics of a great mother. Thank you so much. Mr. Dauda, agriculture career will be more profitable than oil careers in the next 20 years. This statement has been over 20 years now. Are there any way we can say it is true, or should we advise to wait for the next 20 years' time to come before we dive into it?
Yes, well, it look tentative and abstract because of the nature of our country and the system we find ourselves. The statement is real, it's achievable and it's possible. But it's quite unfortunate that what put policies implementation in place is the system. I always give instances. Anywhere that the system functions, then everything becomes okay. I have one simple, I don't like giving foreign example. I teach development economics. Most time if I'm giving Asia, Latin America, I return back to Africa and give practical example that we will understand better. There's one business, is a ICT business owned by Ematech. The head office in Ipoli, one is in College Junction.
Okay.
If you go to that shop, you realize that CCTV cameras are perfect. He pays them well. He set the system. In fact, if you go to that place, you don't even need to misbehave Because when he comes back in the evening, he will come and watch that system. If you misbehave, you're the one sending this customer away, he might sack you. What am I saying? The statement is possible, but when the system is okay, it can go. If today, if you can check properly, go and check some of the program manager, like the retired director, they say they're not the one managing. There are people who study mathematics. The system is faulty. Because someone might study mathematics will give you an agricultural program manager because of political reasons. At the end of the day, we the student too, we are fault to ourselves. We don't acquire skills. In fact, the most time you realize that what you study alone, the theory alone cannot help you, except you practice it. And most times we find it difficult to practice, assuming that we want somebody to establish the business and employ us. So for me, number one, it is a system. And who owns the system? Leadership. Leadership owns the system. And the executive implements the entire story of the law will stop. If today our system can go in proper way, I'm giving you a benefit of doubt, the story can be achieved as fast as possible. It's very possible. The oil business, like now, if you see someone who studied petrochemical engineering, as far as I'm concerned, it's irrelevant. Because you know that even the NNPC, they will not even employ him because the system is faulty. He who studied, in fact, agriculture, I am assuring you that is practical. He's a consultant now. So if you study petrochemical engineering, I'm assuring you there's no way that they will even pick you as consultant because of the system is faulty. And again, we must definitely consider this issue of statement that if we want to go into reality, we should be able to look at the market space. There are discipline and there are statements that the market space is clear. Agriculture, the market space is clear, is wide. It's bad. You can go as much as possible. I used to tell people, I must not do it here. Karo is the best marketplace. That is why the entire retired generals who they are from Gora, you see all the integrated farms, they are there. And the market is Abuja. So the statement is true, but it must be supported by a working system. If the system can be functioned, that is very possible. You don't need to wait for 20 years. Even in the next few. Practical example, the day Mr. President said no more subsidy, in 1 second, the economy what? Turned upside down. I'm not trying to say on the bad side. The subsidy will remove, the prices will what? Escalate instantly. Likewise, if the system is going, I'm sure instantly it will pick up. And agricultural activities, there are crops that can take 3 months, improve variety. So in a shortest year, maybe talking about maybe in 3 to 1 tenure, the result can change. It's possible. But supporting by the what? The system, which is the leadership of the government. Both at the federal to the state level. I think federal and the state are the ones that are more powerful in terms of resources. I will off the local government at the moment. Thank you.
Thank you so
Can I
much.
just add something
Sure,
to
madam.
what he has said? You know, Nigeria's mainstay before oil was agriculture. So if we are, well, how will I put it now? Rerouting, it's like going back to what it used to be. Most of the refineries in Nigeria, especially the Warri refinery, NNPC refinery, the development and building of that refinery was from the gains of agriculture. The first bank in Nigeria was built by the proceeds of agriculture. If agriculture was sustaining us pre-independence, it means it can still sustain us. But because the oil came and people started saying, oh, you could do things cheaply, earn money cheaply without using your labor. Then they started discarding agriculture and embraced the oil. Now, the oil is causing a very big problem in our society. And that's why the government felt, oh, oil can no longer take care of us. And the coming of the oil, we will say, is it a cause or a blessing? So most of us will want to say, yes, it is a blessing, but somehow now it is like a curse. So if we had been doing our agriculture silently, our youth, inheriting that, the what did you call it earlier? Children having skills, children inheriting the skills from their parents and continuing in it, we wouldn't be plunged into the mess that we're in at the moment. So I believe we are trying to reroute and go back to what it used to be, and that is just the best path for us.
That is a very beautiful insight, Dr. GKU. So, what you're saying is agriculture is as important as oil right
As
now,
oil.
even more. Okay, thank you so much. Mr. Umar Hassan,
Yeah.
let us be honest. When many parents in Nigeria hear the word agriculture, they picture muddy fields, rubber boots, and a child who could not get into medicine or law. I want you to respond to that image, briefly or directly. Is agriculture a last resort, a last option, or are parents missing something?
Well, I think it's not the problem of parents in the first place. It's a question of career guidance at the institution. The perception created for the children or the people that are in the school is that it's about drudgery. But it can be done the other way around. I pointed the case of crop production. You must not use hand if there are tractors and other machines,
Technology.
technology. Then, like agriculture, you don't need large space to go into agriculture. 1 hectare is big enough for you to make a living. Then you go to poultry. That's another business that there's money to be made there. I asked somebody in the sector, I say, now you have the university, college of agri and others, and you have students with small resources. Is there any place in Lafayette where you can go and buy 2 pieces of chicken? He said, no. I said, why not? If we have a processor that now can have only the wings, the thighs, there's money to be made in processing of chicken, not raising chicken. Then the same process as if you take it to cow,
Yes.
yeah, you are done. You don't need any other thing. Just process and take it to the disease. So there are a lot of aspects of agriculture that once the student understand
Yes.
that this aspect do not necessarily need drudgery. Then you come back to even horticulture and landscape, production of flowers. There's money to be made there. If you have a chance to be given a contract to landscape government house, this government house, I can tell you that comfortably you can make 5 to 10 million naira in one exercise. That's another area there. Then vegetables. Go to the market here. A lot of the vegetables that is exotic, like cabbage, they bring them daily from those. And you'll be surprised because I used to trade around the market. You see trucks bringing cabbage and you imagine they will rot. None at all. They will disappear. Who consumes them? And you don't need a lot of resources to do that. So the perception created is wrong. It's just wrong to change the perception of the people's. Then coming to his own field. Banks, they have department, what do you call it? Department of Development Finance. In central bank, we have agricultural economics. You have agriculturists. Every single bank. Why do banks need agriculturists? Why? Very simple. Access to finance means you take a proposal. No average banker will analyze a proposal if he has no agricultural background. So you need agriculturists in the bank to assess proposals and okay them for loan. So there are those areas also. Then be even consultants in those areas. There are a lot of bodies that take consultants in agriculture. So you have different facets of agriculture.
It's not just the family.
Yeah, to justify people going to the field.
Thank you so much, Mr. Umar Hassan. Mr. Umar Hassan has let us know that agriculture is not just about farming. It is far beyond that. You can actually work in the bank as an agriculturist. You can work anywhere, and you can also do sustainable farming. Thank you so much, Mr. Umar Hassan. Dr. J.K. Yusuf, I'm imagining I'm giving you 1 million naira. You have agronomy, animal science, agricultural economics, fisheries, food science, and agricultural extension. You can invest your money in only one of these careers. Which one are you going to buy and why?
Well, let me be biased. As an agriculturist, I'll go into agriculture. If certain enabling environment is provided. Now, for aquaculture, I would need certain basic things. Water. I can use any land available, especially land that cannot be used for any agricultural purposes. the sandy soil area can be converted. Even though maybe 1 million may not be enough, okay, for what I intend to do. So if I have a source of water and I have maybe plastics, I can use plastics without dredging. So use plastics and I go into my farming. I just need my fingerlings, and in 6 months I am harvesting. Okay. I could also decide not to go into production of table size. We have different terminologies, mind you. Now, if I'm going into table size, it's a different thing. But if I'm going into hatchery production, maybe producing the larva for the market is there. So I can produce larva on a daily basis or weekly basis, let's put it like that. So in 2 weeks or 4 months, I have people coming in to buy. So weekly, I have sales for my larva. Because between 2 to 4 weeks, you can, offset them, sell them out. So fisheries and aquaculture will be the best block for me to go into. Yes.
Dr. J.K. Yusuf, you said 1 million may not be enough for your proposed plan. Okay, what if I give you 10 million naira? How long will it take for you to get your 10 million naira back with profits? Because the world now is about profits, about money.
Now, when you're going into any business of agriculture, like you said,
Yes.
you need to put into consideration the location. Location is very important and key. Know your location. Know also who are your target customers, which is very important. If you have your target customers and say, okay, if I'm producing this within a day to, I have my sales corrected. So within a year to, I should be able to give you the money back. So if the location is settled, so those two things, your location and the market, your target audience. Now, who are your target audience? The population is there. He made an analysis that around Karo and what have you could always take your market there. If you are in the remote villages, your route is a factor. The road, the access road out of that place could be a factor and could be an hindering factor. So if I am in Lafia, Kefi, Akwanga, for example, and I have what it takes, people can still come in from those places to come and get their fish supply.
Yes.
I can decide also to have an integrated approach, okay, where I have an integrated approach where the water waste from my fish can serve to raise certain vegetables. So I'm going to be using one stone to kill 2 birds, or even multiple birds, not just 2, many birds at the end of the day. So yes, your audience matters, your location matters. And I was going to say something about audience.
Okay.
There are certain times that you want to locate your farm in places where you have the high class. Should I use that for the high class?
It's okay.
Then you could also establish where you have the middle class and you have where you have the low class. Mind you, the way you sell to those in the high class will not be the same way you sell to those in the low class. So your choice of place of establishment matters a lot in your business. So yes, within 2-3 years, I should be able to recover back such an amount.
Thank you so
So
much.
just upon what she mentioned,
Yes, sir.
I have a friend in Nasara who was raising table-sized fish. And there was a demand from fish sellers in Abuja. They wanted 1 ton of fish. Eventually, what they did was to syndicate, call
Different places.
Then these people were collecting fish right from this life here to Akwanga up to Abuja because the demand was created and there were no fish farmers. Even currently, the fish farmers that we have are not sufficient. Now, fish is not for everybody in the market. That's the reality. But now the population that is increasing, we're talking about who is going to feed them. Who is going to feed them? Something has to be done. We have to attract people to such professions like this, aquaculture, because the fish in the wild has been overfished. everybody do what he wants. That is why go to the market, you see people selling things like this, fried ones.
Yes.
Do you know why they're selling them? Because the laws controlling the fish are not being used. When I was young, when they catch you with that fish, they will collect it back and tax you. So they're killing the next generation. But now nobody is doing anything. But that is government for you there. But thinking about the ones coming behind, something has to be done in the fish for agricultural sector to attract people. And as you say 10 million, you are not bringing caveat your 10 million. Later I would go to any bank and write application for 10 million. When they look at it like this, they'll keep it.
Small.
No. The issue is that do they have money set aside for development of agriculture? No. Are they being encouraged? No. Because in the 70s, we have funds in the central bank that now allows or encourages banks to borrow to people, and the rest goes back to the central bank. At a point in time in this state, we have Agricultural Development Trust Fund, where a certain amount of money was set aside in two banks for people to access. Because you cannot do business with 30%. You cannot do business with 30%. At least what central bank is, this is about 9%, or anything below 10. But where do we get the money from? The business is there. You understand? The capital is the issue. Because as you're talking, your 10 million is just from the blues. It's not with 10 million. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Umar Hassan.
Next to you, over to you, Mr. Enchuma. Looking at the agriculture and environmental science table, we have courses like agronomy, animal science, crop science, fishery and aquaculture, forestry and wildlife, soil science, food science and technology, and environmental science. Which of these courses do you think is the most underrated by Nigerian families right now, and why?
Well, thank you for the questions. When it comes to underrated course and the most important course, that is where I used to say, if I have the opportunity, I think I've been talking to secondary school for quite some time since my NYC time. I have a career platform that I used to talk to them, and I developed these courses. I state the requirement, I state their uses, I state their challenges. And at the end of the day, what I want to say is that, as far as I'm concerned, professionally, officially, there's no underrated course, and it's not supposed to be so. But we say ignorance is terrible. You know, what you don't know, you can say anything about it, especially when it comes to this issue of courses. And I don't want to go into the perception, even though for you to state some perception, you must have a research evidence that you have conducted research. You know, we agroeconomists, you know, or can you perceive feeling of people? What do you feel? And since we have not conducted research, I want to say it as an academician with care, so that I don't go into another blunder. But meanwhile, there's no one that is underrated. Even though people with ignorance, they look at things like forestry. They look at it as if it's something that a forest man or all of that. And sometimes ignorance again, they look at agronomy, they underrate it because they're looking at crop production and all this soil, dirty work, you have to wear dirty clothes. And their thought is because they don't know. As for me, no course is inferior and no course is superior. In fact, you were asking Dr. one questions that if she's opportune, what course would she want her children to study? I know we're not supposed to choose courses for children now, but using the wisdom, you can persuade them and let them understand, and they can choose based on your persuasion and to benefit them. In fact, I have a special agricultural course that I wish if I convince my children, they should be able to get confused. And that course is silent that people don't know they're battling for medicine, veterinary medicine. Okay. I'm in love with that. Go and check either you see any veterinary doctor walking on the street. In fact, when you're in school, if you're a hard-working somebody, you won't be working while in school. So it's one of the, in fact, military need you so much for their what? Their fighter dogs and all of that. So what I'm trying to say is that for me, if you really have knowledge, you know, there's no course That is what. But people look at most courses like forestry, maybe like horticulture. Some people include fishery sometimes. You look at fishery, forestry, or this agronomy. When you check the curriculum of agriculture, the only course that sounds social is agri-economics. That's the only one. When you check agri-economics, it's the only one that you can function in economics, you can function in business admin, you can function in a bank. So people look at it as the name. But I keep on telling them, the name doesn't bring money. The name doesn't bring living. The name doesn't bring success in career. Every discipline, and in fact, let me make it clear, on a normal circumstance in the developed nation, degree is a global knowledge that gives you room to have an idea to practice any career. If you really know what you study in the university. Degree is a benchmark that will give you global understanding, relationship, knowledge-wise, social balance, and all of the other factors that you should be able to succeed in any career you want to practice. That is the secret of degree.
Thank you so much, sir. It's an honor having to hear what you all have to say on agriculture. From what we've said so far, any student who wants to study agriculture in the university as a career, all he needs for his JAM combination is English and mathematics for the compulsory subjects, mathematics, biology and chemistry for the optional ones, which can be substituted for physics or agricultural sciences.
Looking at some universities you should go to in our rating. We have the Ahmed Bello University in Zaria, we have University of Ibadan, and we have Michael Okpara University of Agriculture, Umudike. We have University of Nigeria, Nsukka. Those are the universities in our list. Though catchment area matters, to know further, Miss Amina is here to explain that to you.
Thank you so much. What is catchment area? If you're talking about admission into any agricultural related course, catchment area matters a lot. Catchment area refers to states or regions that are given special admission to a university because they are geographically close to the institution. For example, if your catchment area is Kaduna or Kano or Jigawa, students from the states will be given admission, not because, I will not say qualified, but they will be given this privilege because they are geographically within the institution. Catchment area increases your chances of admission. It improves the university students' knowledge and matters. Having known all that we've learned today, I would say it's time for us to go for a short break. Stay tuned and be with us because there's more to learn after the break. This is the Royal Scholars Talk Show, Peace Series.
Every great leader begins with a dream. Our Royal Scholars Schools were proud of all the young minds we've nurtured over the years. Our alumni are making remarkable strides in various universities across Nigeria and beyond. They're studying medicine, law, engineering, computer science, dentistry, and pharmacy, and many more professional courses. At Royal Scholars Schools, we do not just educate students, we are building future leaders, innovators, professionals, and nation builders. Admission, admission, admission.
Royal Scholars Schools invite applications to grade 7, grade 8, and grade 10 for the 2026-2027 academic session. These are the highlights from our ongoing entrance examinations. Candidates are being assessed through our comprehensive admission processes, which include computer-based tests, paper-based tests, and oral interview. Our first batch of participants have successfully participated in this exercise, and registrations are open to our second batch and third batch entrance examinations. Give your child an opportunity to study in a school where academic excellence, leadership, discipline, and character development are our watchwords.
To apply, visit www.royalscholarschools.com and click on the registration for 2026/2027. Complete the online registration form and secure your child's admission today. Royal Scholar Schools, your child, your pride, your future. Register now.
So, welcome back from the Pay Series short break. I remain your co-host, Khalid Lawal, and
I am your host, Amina Ilyas again.
beyond JAM, are there O-level requirements, post-UTME benchmarks, or practical skills that give one agricultural applicant an advantage over another? What does a competitive application actually looks like? Over to you, Dr. G.
Okay. In the university right now, different universities have their own internal cut-off marks for the courses. But nationally, it has been agreed that all universities should take from 180. But then, if you go in, they look at the highest scores before the lowest. Even if you have 180. Like for our faculty now, it is 180. But then, when you come in, we have to reshuffle. You want to start giving those who are scoring 200 and above before you start considering those who have lower scores. So yes, even if it is 180, you're required to have higher scores to be able to get that admission. And again, we also look at policies, like you were saying earlier. Year in, year out, policy changes. And the moment people come, applications come in, we want to start sieving. At the moment you sieve, you find out that maybe in the whole admission for that year, only 20 or 40 applications come in for the whole of Faculty of Agriculture. And it is very mind-blowing that we don't have people who are really, accepting to come in to study agriculture. So what does the university do to help such situations? They now start looking at their policies, how to reshape and rebalance it. And the moment you start touching your policies, then everything is wrong, just like he was trying to mention even for the country earlier. Now, what are some of those policies that usually get reshaping? The moment you are having 40 or less than that for the whole faculty, the university probably goes inward to look at, okay, let's look at lower scores. Let's look at those who applied for medicine and could not get placement for medicine. And you're not forcing them to agriculture. So most times that is what happens. So not that most of them come in with the intention of studying agriculture, but for those who actually applied, they may not be even up to the required number for the program. So I think that is majorly some of the problems that we're having with the admission policies. Yes.
Thank you.
Do you have anything to add to what she said?
No, she is from the academics.
Okay.
I'm from the career civil service.
Okay.
But as I mentioned much earlier,
Yes.
there's not the university itself, the government. What level policy do they have in encouraging people to go for certain courses? Like now, as you young men, when they say anybody going for agriculture will get scholarship, they will rush. Now, if you go to college of agriculture, the people wanting to go and read livestock are more than the ones. Why? Because they were keyed into the health salary structure. So they're not thinking about the course by itself. They are thinking about at the end of the day,
The remuneration.
the remuneration. So what happens to the planning? That is, in Nigeria, as I said, how many agri-engineers do you have? You cannot mechanize when you don't have engineers. So now, you have to get a policy of encouraging people to go into agri-engineering. There was 1 year when the late Governor Aliakwe was alive. They wanted a copper to be posted to his farm with degree in agri-engineering, the whole Nasarawa state. There was no copper.
You can't get
One copper, one.
Very difficult.
So, this is serious. You have machines to be maintained, and you don't have agri-engineers, you are going nowhere. Yeah. Just like importing Rolls Royce to this country. When it breaks down, you take it to UK. Nobody is going to repair UK, Rolls Royce in Nigeria. Nobody. So this is the problem we're having. The policy has to be right in encouraging people to go for certain courses that have avenues in the region. There has to be policy structure in that respect, or else I'm not going anywhere. I'm not going anywhere.
Thank you so
Thank
much,
you
Mr.
so
Umar.
much. Next, over to you, Mr. Anchuma. Here is the question every parent in this audience is quietly asking. If my child studies agriculture, would they be able to buy a car, own a home, and live comfortable within 10 years of graduating? What is your honest answer to that?
My honest answer is yes, very, very possible. In fact, I think at the preamble outside, I was able to mention something. If today parents will not force children, but we give them room to go into reality guide. Reality guide is different from what we read from the book. There are things that you read from the book, you are not sure whether they are achievable or not. But if you meet a practitioner, he will tell you it's achievable. And one of the things I always said is that if you want to go into a profession sometime, gather those who study the profession, like a very good number of them, and look at them. Do you want to be like them? And I want to assure you that agricultural experts, I am not biased, but if you're talking about good administrators, hardworking people, agricultural experts are one of the best. If you go to universities today, I used to tell people, if you're not well groomed, don't go to faculty of agriculture. It's hybrid. If you cannot be, if your CGPA, anybody who is leaving faculty of agriculture with a CGPA of less than 1.00, he go to social science and he make upper 3.5 without carry over till he graduate. Because you're hybrid already, you're going to lower version. Agriculture, you can do well in so many sectors, even though we couldn't have room to really give detail what this livestock is, the practical way that you can easily succeed into it, the marketing. But I'm assuring you that without the benefit of doubt, you can make it. You talked of 1 million. I'm an agricultural economist. There's what we call calculated risks. If I want to go into calculated risks now, you are giving me that 1 million. And maybe when you're giving me the 10 million you were saying, though it was an abstract, not as if the money is there.
Yes.
But for instance, if you're giving me, if today you're knowledgeable about the problem we have is the graduate they said they are no knowledgeable in self-reliance. They just pass exam and school is not in there. If you have 10 million today, as an agricultural economy, I will give you calculated risks. Probably doctor is a practitioner, she might have punch already. And if I want to go into pond, that will take me 10. There are quick ways I can go. There's what we call 10 series in data analysis. I can go into market trend and look at the major crops that for the past 5 years, 6 years, they have maintained good price, like Melo and other ones. Trust me, in 2 seasons, you should be able to, if you are blessed, if the fluctuation or demand and supply forces work well for you, you can do double that money and pay back that money. You are a young millionaire and stable. So it's very possible. You can buy more than a car. In fact, the one thing that we're omitting again is this green farming or whatsoever vegetables. Today, vegetable doesn't need large land. I can tell you, I didn't need your be in our family garden demonstration plot. You see this Sakawa vegetable plant and you see the greenhouse. If you go to that greenhouse, the first production or the first cycle of that tomato, if you were there, it was super. It's just single greenhouse. So, for instance, even if you go into open irrigation, I'm assuring you, you can buy more than a car. I have a graduate who said he's not ready to work now. He's practicing farming, he's into rice. His car today, I want to assure you that even a professor doesn't drive his car. I can show you his car, the car is driving today, even a professor cannot drive that car. Because you might not be able to gather 10 million to go, 15 million to go and buy a car easily. So what I'm telling you is that you can buy more than a car. You can buy future. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir.
Over to you, Mr. Umar.
Yeah.
Nigeria feeds hundreds of millions of people, and we will need to feed hundreds of millions more. Agriculture is not a past industry. It is arguably the most critical industry of the next 50 years. In one sentence each, why does this field need Nigeria's best young minds And what happens if it doesn't get them?
In the first place, as you said, it is how many million? Millions of people.
Millions
Yes.
of
Millions of people, yes. But who are feeding these millions of people? They are smallholder farmers who constitute 80-something%. What do they use? They use hose. Do you know when they started using hose in the world? During Egyptian archaeology, go to Egypt, you see hose. So they are feeding, but we have a problem. Their capacity is limited by resources. So that's why I'm talking about getting the young people who will go into production with new technology. In the US, you find one person owning 100 to 500 hectares. Here, the smallholder farmer has 1 to 5 hectares. Even with the whole family, they will not be able to manage 5 hectares. It's not easy. Because you see why these smallholder farmers are having problems? They don't have resources. The manpower in the past, the whole family goes to the farm, like people now like you who are here. More than 50% of their children are in school. So how can they work? This is rainy season. So that limitation is there. So for us now to be able to feed them, there has to be first mechanization. Then the farmers also have to have access to resources, to credit that they can employ in the farm. Then the seed industry also has a problem. You must get improved seeds. And why do you get it? You get it from seed companies. The seed companies are not doing very well in this country. There's still a problem. So everything has to be in place so that the production can be upscaled. Without that, we're facing a problem in the future. Whether we like it or not. Because if you look at yourself, you are going to the streets and see how many people are begging for food. They're not begging for sun. Then the food they're begging, it has to be produced by who? By who? The average farmer in the village now, the one living in the village, is up to 65 years old. Huh? For how long will you continue with that? Young people have to come in. We have to even open more land. But you cannot open more land without mechanizing. So the policy of the government now has to be in place, one, to encourage people like you. Like now, this school, okay, Madam is here. Do you have young farmers club? No. Do you need to have one? Because once we have young farmers club, then what is next? What are they going to do, young farmers? They are going to go into vegetable, not here. Then why do you find land near here that they can be taken? You understand? Then if it is about fisheries, but then it's here agriculture. Why do you take them to go and see why agriculture is in practice? So that by the time now you finish, when they say go and do that, nobody will tell you. No, you will find that you are in love with fish. You are in love with vegetables. You have to create that in the mind of the people like you. Create that love. Then as a state policy, in the past, we used to have young farmers development club. You have formal and informal clubs. You have clubs in the school that they encourage. From time to time, they invite a team like this, the interface. That's not enough. When you're talking about vegetable, after this, take them to the place to see how it's being done. Let them on garden, let them on it. Even if it is 1 hectare of farm, 1 hectare, it's okay. But let them be part of the listen. You understand me? So the policy of the government has to be in the place whereby there's deliberate effort to encourage this. US has it, EU has it, and the European Union has it. That program now allows you to access resources with a lot of backup from government guarantee so that you can go into this. But we don't have any other option than to get you. Without the youth in agriculture, the population will die. It will die. Because there are people now that are sitting to the village, they are sitting under the tree. They are still farmers, but they are no more in the product, they can no more produce. The only people that are benefiting, you know who? Tree crop farmers. They will plant it 35 years. Go to Benue.
Very
They will
wonderful.
tie his wrapper and sit down. They will buy orange 2 million naira from a farm sitting down. They say 2 million naira. And the tree is there. Because he's no more having the strength. But those trees are there. That's his own investment. So there has to be that deliberate effort by government to encourage you. And the institutions also in the state, I would like institutions whereby every school has young farmers club. Even those, you see this children in the nurseries. Today, my own child that comes Farouk is here in nursery too. He called me, he said, come and see. I said, what? He said, I planted maize. I said, what is happening? He said, look at the top. What is happening? I said, I said, what is it? He said, I don't know. I said, that's casting. He said, what is it for? So he is interested. So create the interest. That's all.
Let me add. The questions seem like exam questions, and let me approach it and add to the retired regular exam questions. You said in one sentence or two sentences.
Yes.
Yes, it is possible and it is the best to get not just the youth but the vibrant youth. Every profession needs the best people. There's no profession that don't need the best people. I remember sometimes people used to say, I would have studied medicine for Lord that to fit me. And I asked them, can you give me reasons? And the reason they give, it doesn't carry water. Any profession that don't have the best, then sustainability becomes the problem. Then what happens if the best are not gotten? Are you doing economics?
Yes, we will.
Have you been taught of Malthus's theory of population? The Malthus, the 1798 theory. He said the danger is that the population is growing in what? In geometric need. 2 times 2, 4 times 2, 8 times 2, 16 times 2, 32 times 2, 64. He said it's fast. Why food is growing what in arithmetic need? 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1. That by the time, if nothing is done, in the long run, people are going to die of hunger and starvation. Or the only thing that could help, maybe the natural checkup, like natural disaster, war, people will die and reduce, and other things. So he said, even though the demographic theory came up to back up with technology, I want to quote that. Up to today, just like the director said, if you go to the peasant farmer or smallholder farmer who own 1 to 5 hectares of land, none of them can beat he or her chest that what he produces feed him to the end. There's what we call malnutrition. There's no food security. Up to today, there's no food security. And what is food security? Is not just defining food, though. It's talking about the accessibility, affordability, availability. You could have money, but there's no food. You could have the food, you don't have money. So all those 4 factors must be there. If nothing has been done, then food security issue will become a very serious problem. And definitely, you see people working, it's because they have not gone to hospital. If you check people, highest problem that people have is the hunger. There are problems, in fact, I advise that nutritionists should be employed in every hospital. There are problems that are not even sicknesses because you are not eating good food. If you're eating good food, it will fight some of the minor diseases. Take good nutrients. Let me practicalize you. My elder brother doesn't rub cream. He take good nutrients. If you look at it, if you go and buy bleached cream, he doesn't rub cream, but he's like a white man because he take good nutrition. So food is power. So we'll die of hunger if that is not done. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
I also lend a voice to this issue, approaching it in a different angle. One thing we are all out to solve is the issue of bridging the gap between demand and the supply. Now, for your level, you're already thinking about getting admission to agriculture or whatever. What do you really want to solve? Because agriculture is out there to solve a problem, hunger. Now, why do we need the youth? You have the mind, you have the technology. Unlike our forefathers, like he said, most of them were peasants. But now, you could go into precision farming or integrated farming, like I said earlier, or even industrial farming, okay? In a large scale, using just technology with a little space of land. In those days, our people would is it shifting cultivation?
Shifting.
They do shifting cultivation. But now does shifting cultivation work? No, because of land tenure system. They can no longer work. Because the moment you leave a land to fallow, well, it will not even regenerate. Because most of the land are dead. So what aspect do you want to go into and how do you want to solve it? We have seen a lot of technologies of using just these poles, and then with one pole, you could have 30 plants on one pole. So within the comfort of your home, you could do agriculture without soil, soilless farming. You could do seed production. He talked about the seed being a problem. You could go into just seed production, soilless seed production. Those in, soil science are doing it. Those who are doing it just in the laboratory are doing it there, soilless, using cotton wool to raise seedlings. And the market is there, the demand is there. So how do you want to solve it is what we should be thinking about, and how you want to solve it as an institution. Thank you.
Thank you so much. As a peer, agricultural extension professionals often work with government agencies, NGOs, and international organizations like FAO, IFAD, and the World Bank. What does the career pathway look like financially, and how accessible is it to a graduate from a Nigerian university?
Maybe you should channel this to this agricultural economics. You have a better.
Yes, it's a very interesting question. This is a practical solution we're looking for now.
Yes.
Agricultural extension itself is talking about knowledge step down and how you passed the modern correct agricultural technology to end user who are the farmers. And agricultural extension itself is not just talking about passing agricultural knowledge. It is also a means of teaching the farmers how to live a better life and improve their livelihood. That is, improve their income and their social status. Now, the practical way in career is that World Bank, United Nations, and other programs, there's no state that doesn't have functioning program that require the extensionists for this assignment in all year. In fact, I know personally that my Oga, we had some interview. They were looking for state coordinator, they want to launch some programs, and they needed extensionists specifically. And this is World Bank, it is food, nutrition, and food security and nutrition. And this, they needed extensionists who would step down this knowledge. They were looking for state coordinator, assistant state coordinator, and probably local government coordinator, and they needed extensionists. Apart from it, there are a lot of agricultural value chains. It's either you be a field staff, you be a lead consultant, you be a consultant. These services are always required all the time. It could be career long term to work in the universities. It could be 5 years contract subject to renewable. You work with NGO. In fact, if you're looking for community developers, extensionists are expert in that. That is why you see agricultural extension and rural development. That rural development is not just you must do more of sociology. I teach sociology, rural sociology for a very good time. You must know the belief of people, you must know their status, you must know the society and know the culture so that I link it what if you are bringing new technology, you should be able to do what we call need assessment. There are professional social scientific methods to achieve that, to know the opinion leader in community. It is achievable. One, you can work as a permanent staff in even NADP, and most of these, there are international NGO that can pick you as a permanent staff. Some are contract 5 years, they can return it, repeat it, maybe renew it up to 10 years when the sponsors are there. You can work as a farmer or consultant or advisory on you. I had a PhD order in agricultural extension. The first thing he did, he's a teacher in secondary school. He's trying to join the university when he finished the PhD 2 months ago. But he has farmers advisory consultant firm. In fact, some of them pay him to work for consultation. In fact, if you needed a proposal for community need assessment, you can hire him. You hire him, he can give you the proposal. He will give you is a result that you can work with, a reliable one. So you can be a self-reliant, you can be a farmer advisory consultant, you can work as a part-time worker, you can work as a contract staff, you can work as a permanent staff. if you're checking website of Africa Development Bank, though the professional level is at master's level, most time World Bank, Africa Development Bank, United Nations, they always advertise, check their side. They needed these people to work there as career. And let me tell you, if they pick you, they pay you in dollar. Don't forget. I know someone who left level 14 and one federal government agency and joined it. In fact, ECOWAS has special unit for that. If they pick you truly, as of then they will pay $1,500 5 years ago. By now, I know you should be a stable millionaire. So these are the career part of this aspect.
Thank you so much.
Just to add to this,
Okay.
initially when this state was created, the NADPO, National Agricultural Development Program, came from Plateau Agricultural Development Program. At a point in time, due to resignation and death, the manpower and the extension, because we have what we call VEA, Village Extension Agent, and Block Extension Agent, then the District Extension Agent. All these things, they narrowed down, and when Ali Akko was in power, they took a case to him that they needed 300 more. The government was able to approve 130. By now, the manpower of the extension of ADB has gone down very low.
Very, very low.
The ratio, that's the World Bank ratio, is about one extension agent to about 250 power. But in Nasarawa State, it's 1 to 1,000. And in some states of the Federation, you have not up to 40 extension workers. So we're deficient as a country in the extension that needs to have these people. Or else that gap between the knowledge, you go to research, produce your documents, the farmer is there. He doesn't know even what you are doing. Look at this NIMET. Beginning of the year, they go to Nikon Hotel, predict there will be rainfall, this, there will be dead. After the long English,
Nobody's there to
that's all. The farmer is there. He will plant that very time that you shouldn't plant. He will just plant.
You don't know the
Because
weather.
you have not told him that this is what the weather is all about. Then after planting, he will fail. That's why you have the extension. All these things are supposed to cascade down to the farmer. If the farmer doesn't get what you're talking about, that's nonsense. They're not doing anything. It's zero.
0 plus 0.
So there's need to have it's a course that has future.
Thank you so much, Mr. Omar Hassan. We're approaching the end of today's episode, but before then, I have something I want us to do. I would ask a question. It's called the one word only. I'll ask a question, then you tell me the first word that comes to your mind. But it's agriculture related. I would love to practice with my co-host just to illustrate it for you. Okay, Mr. Khalid Lowell,
Yes, please, I'm
are you ready?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Agriculture is
Opportunity,
opportunity, okay? Farming is,
innovation,
okay. He answered the questions, just giving me one word of what he thinks. So I would love us to play this game with you guys, if you don't mind.
No, well, I agree to
Okay. Thank you so much. Let me start with you, Dr. JK. If agriculture disappeared tomorrow, what will happen?
I think we are done. Done.
Finished. That proves agriculture's significance in the world today. Thank you so much, Dr. JK Yusuf. Mr. Umar,
Yeah.
the greatest resource on earth is
Agriculture.
agriculture.
Yeah.
Obviously.
yeah.
Okay. Mr. Khalid Lawal,
Mr.
take over.
Njuma, agriculture is,
Life.
that's good. That's agriculture. You will not survive. Like, over to you.
Entrepreneurship means what, Njuma?
Success.
Success.
Doctor, your message to students.
Go for agriculture and go for sustainability.
That's impactful.
Mr. Umar,
Yeah.
what's your message to parents?
Well, parents should give their own children a very good overview of what agriculture is all about so they can be able to select whatever they want.
Thank you so much.
Mr. Njuma, Nigeria's agricultural future is.
Is it still the game or solution?
Yes.
Solution.
Solution.
Danger.
By danger, you mean?
I mean, it is in danger in the sense that the perception that people have in the street is terrible. So the danger, the fear I have is I'm imagining if there's no proper awareness and guidance, we're in danger.
Maybe you got the question wrong. I mean, the future.
Yes.
The plan.
The future.
Plan.
Okay, is
Yes.
it okay? If you're okay, the futures of agriculture is bright.
That's correct. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That brings us to the end of this one word only game. And then a final question for everyone. For every student and parent listening to this program right now, what is the one thing you want them to know differently tomorrow? That's after this show, that they would not have known yesterday.
Agriculture is not a dirty job. Agriculture
important.
is very important for sustenance of life in the country. Agriculture is a high investment opportunity for our children, and to keep the success of the future, to hold the success of the future will definitely depend on this young generation who are our future agriculturists. So we sustain them, we give them agriculture, then the future of our food is secured.
Thank you so much, Dr. Yusuf. That is very insightful. Mr. Njuma, the same question. What is the one thing that you want the students listening to this to know differently tomorrow about agriculture?
What I want the student listening to this program to know differently from what they know in the past is agriculture is beyond the word agriculture. It is super. It's something totally different in the modern world. It is relevant, it is sellable, it is practical, it is in fact a pathway to be a millionaire in real life, not in theory.
Thank you so much, sir. Mr. Omar.
Just to add on the statement that the perception as what they have about agriculture is pigeonholed. Just looking at farming is much wider than that. There are a lot of things in agriculture that they need to know. So I want their perception to be broadened so they can pick anyone that in the future they can make a career out of it.
Thank you so
Thank you
much.
so much. Here's the truth. This conversation leaves us with the gap between what Nigerian agriculture currently produces and what it's actually capable of producing. Isn't a failure?
It is an opportunity, one of the largest sitting in plain sight on this continent.
Whether you're a student trying to decide what to study or a parent trying to understand where the future is heading, agriculture is no longer the fallback option. It might just be the frontier.
The land has always been there, the potential has always been there. What has been missing is the information, and that is exactly why the PACE series exists.
If this conversation shifted even slightly how you see agriculture, do us a favor, talk about it, tell another parent and tell another student.
And if you haven't already, please subscribe to the Royal Scholars Talk Show PACE series.
Thank you for watching. We'll see you on the next episode of the PACE series.
We are the students of Royal Scholars School, and this is the
Royal Scholar Talk Show. I'm Benny Musa Tonkwa, and I hope you enjoyed our show for today.
My name is next edition.
My name is Mariam Ibrahim Sandra.
Odabo.